Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Couch Potatoes. I'm the host, Summer Mompoint, and today, for our second episode, we are doing Nope, the movie directed by Jordan Peele. It came out late July, and it's more of a horror, suspense, sci-fi. I don't know if it's sci-fi. It's like a thriller type thing. That's the kind of movies, he kind of goes for. I had no plans on watching this movie because, to be frank, I'm not a really big fan of horror, thriller type, that type movies that try to scare you or make you question, are you seeing things or not? I mean, that's not what happened in the movie, but I'm really not a big fan of those type of things. But I decided to watch it anyway because I had a bunch of friends convince me, and I thought I'd just share my thoughts on it. Granted that I watched it, so. In this movie, because I start off with my summary, it's hard because it's like 2.5 type plots happening. So I'm just gonna explain the plots as needed as it goes along, because it's better to do it than the way it's structured in the movie. Because in the movie it's like spliced in. All right, so in the movie it opens in this sitcom setting with everybody scared and a lot of things broken about this sitcom called Jordy's Home, and it's about a chimpanzee who lives with a human family. But this is the episode. We get the episode of him going rampage and killing all the members of the family except one kid. And it's really jarring, picture of a chimpanzee with blood and all this stuff. And when he goes to the kid, he sees the kid, he goes up to him and tries to give him a fist bump. But the minute they do, he gets shot by the authorities and he's killed. Now, so that kid's important later to when it comes to the next part. But then we get introduced to OJ and M, which are the main people of our story. And their father got killed by weird circumstances at the ranch. So OJ, he inherited the ranch, and he's trying to make ends meet because there's a lot of money to make, especially since they're people using horses in film, because that's what they do. I didn't explain that. They have a ranch they use for Hollywood shows and Hollywood TV shows and movies. And since movies are trying to move away from more plastic horses and all this stuff to more plastic horses, they're kind of losing money. So he's trying to make ends meet, and I'm trying to convince him otherwise. When OJ goes to sell his ranch to Lupe, which is the kid in the beginning with the chimpanzee, who didn't end up getting killed. And so then OJ ends up not selling the ranch to him. M convinced him. But he needed a way to keep the ranch going and alive and such. So as the movie progresses, OJ realized all these weird occurrences that are happening at the ranch, and something that's really unnatural. He feels this presence and these this thing above him, which we kind of assume that it's a UFO and aliens and stuff. So he tells his sister, yo, there's aliens. And she's like, I don't believe you. There's probably aliens in the sky. And then he showed her at night, and then she convinced him. And they're like, bro, we can get money from this because we need to take a picture of UFO and aliens. Sometimes there's a reward. So their plan is to, with this UFO in the sky, is to take a picture of it to get a reward for money to help keep the ranch alive. Now Lupe knows that this is a thing, and since he runs a circus entertainment horse type of thing, he actually uses this UFO as an attraction piece so he can gain money. But we find out that it's not really a UFO, it's really just a creature. It's a thing in the sky. So every horse that he gets, that Hayward sometimes sells to him or other horses, he feeds it to the creature as an entertainment piece. But one day, the day that they show, the horse runs away, and him and his audience ends up getting eaten by this creature, which was a really nice, disturbing picture that I'm so glad I was able to watch on screen. No, the sarcasm. So after Lupe dies, and we go back to OJ and M, and they use the Fry's. So when they went to capture the picture, they use this Fry's electronic guy to help him, who ends up dying anyway. Set up these things, and they devise a plan to capture a picture of this alien or this creature without getting killed, and it's successful. And they did it, and that's how the movie ends. So that's my summary. Hopefully it was coherent, concise, clear enough for you to follow what I watched on that movie screen. I would say that when Lupe and his audience got swallowed up, it was this, they really showed them getting eaten by this creature and them getting swallowed. They showed like the lung, the esophagus, and like and then the one was getting eaten. It was very, very disgusting. And at that moment, right when that scene was over of them showing them literally getting digested, I had to walk out. I did not finish this movie. The only reason why I know how the end of this movie happened is because my friends told me and I had to look it up. Because it was just so weird. It was just so, I couldn't do it. It's just not my type of thing. But the movie in itself, it was slow. Like, it felt like it was building up and it built up to nothing. Now, maybe if I watched the end of the movie, it would have built up to something. But it just felt like there was a punchline coming and then the punchline never came. So it just felt like boring and slow, and it was bothering me already. And when I saw that, like, digestive system, I just couldn't do it anymore. It just kind of killed it for me. But maybe that was his goal, because I mean, like, the whole thing kind of made you uncomfortable because throughout the movie it kept cutting back to the chimpanzee, and like in the beginning it didn't unravel everything I explained. It like just showed the chimpanzee like killing people or like somebody scared, then it'll cut out and then it'll go back to the story, and then it'll cut back in to the little boy underneath the table and he able to have like blood on his face, and then it'll cut out and then it'll come back in, and it showed the story bits and pieces wise, which kind of, you know, added to like the uncomfortability of like finding out what actually happened. But that chimpanzee episode was probably the most interesting part of that movie, because I'm just like, it kept me wanting to watch it, but once I figured it out, like the movie just fell off for me. And like, I get they made the connection with the chimpanzee and Lupe, like the guy who, you know, said the horses and got killed or whatever. I get that connection, but what it added to the story in the end of like the creature in the sky, it didn't really connect well. And so it really confused me in that, because it would make sense if the chimpanzee was possessed by something of that creature. It actually came back and it was, oh my god, it's a chimpanzee. Chimpanzees are aliens. I don't know. Like there was no connection on what that signified besides the fact that it made Lupe want more, because he got fame actually from that episode. They were like, wow, you were that traumatized kid in that one episode where the chimpanzee killed your entire co-stars. And he was like, yeah, I was. And then that kind of fell off. So he kind of was searching for that type of fame again with the creature. So I guess that's the connection. But if that is the connection, that feels kind of weak. It doesn't really add to what M and OJ were doing. But hey, that's just me. But it kind of like threw me off. But yeah, I wasn't able to finish the movie because of that. But the acting, I think overall the acting was interesting. It kept me in. I've never seen Keke Palmer. I mean, Keke Palmer probably act like that in other movies, but like with this character, it really juxtaposed her brother. I didn't say that right, but it really like contrasts her brother heavily, and I think that's what they were going for. But sometimes it threw it off a little bit. But I think it worked. It definitely kind of helped the movie go along, and how it like progressed. And if it was Jordan Peele, if it was Jordan Peele's achievement, no, I can't figure out the word. If it was Jordan Peele's goal, there it is. If it was Jordan Peele's goal to make his audience uncomfortable, I think he definitely succeeded. He made me very uncomfortable throughout the entire thing. There's this moment in the movie where OJ's outside in the dark, and he's at the horse stable. He hears like something running in these in where they get like water and food and stuff inside, and he hears this thing running in the stable. So he goes in to go turn it off. And now he's walking back out. It's like lights and stuff. Oh, and it's not lights, it's like something turning. He goes out, it turns on again. And he's like, interesting. And he goes to turn it off again and starts walking. And then he hears again, and he looks. And then it takes you a while, but you see something like coming out on the side, like a figure, like peeking behind a wall. And that's what I thought the movie was. That suspense in that moment, that feeling I got, started to freak me out because it looked like an alien. And so then and then there was like 1 and then 2 and then 3 started like slowly coming out. And then he started like actually freaking out. And when they started like doing small jump scares, and like that's where I thought the buildup was going, he ends up hitting one of them, and it ended up just being kids trying to scare him. Which, by the way, they're in the middle of ranch of nowhere, so I don't know where these kids came from. But we're not gonna worry about that. But and I thought I was like, oh, they're not the aliens. So what? Like I get the point was like to try to like scare the audience. But then after that, like nothing else gave me the suspense in that movie than in that moment. I kind of wish that was the aliens because it kind of did freak me out, but it's okay. But the entire movie, even with that moment, another like a good thing about that movie is that it just kept me guessing on what was happening. So that was the only thing that really brought me in because I'm like, okay, so where are we going with this? So if that was his trying to accomplish, and I think he did a good job because that made me stay most of the time, even though this is not the type of movies that I usually watch. I just kept saying, okay, well, what is this gonna mean, and how does this relate to this, and trying to connect the dots to make sure I stay apart and like really into this movie. But I won't deny it was definitely a battle, trying to stay. Just to keep watching this movie, and I would get distracted easily. And I feel like once a movie really loses your interest, it's really hard to get that back even in a movie theater. What comes to the filming of this movie, I think how the creature was presented was really cool. I liked. Because what happens is that we're trying to figure out what this thing looks like. We're like, how are people seeing the sky? Like, it keeps like raining stuff on us, striking things, but like you never see the thing in the sky. And it turns out it's a cloud. It's like in a cloud. Or it is a cloud. I don't know, but like it takes the form of a cloud, so you can't like tell that it's up there. Which I thought was very interesting, and I thought that was very smart. And it wasn't pointed out until like when they were recording it, the electric guy, the fries electrician didn't realize that the cloud hasn't moved in like 3 hours. I really like that aspect of like a different way of introducing an alien or like a creature in that sort of way. But sometimes the scenes felt longer than necessary, or like the movie kind of felt longer than what it needed to be because some stuff didn't add certain key, like any aspect, anything to move the plot along. You kind of just felt like it was there. But you kind of get that sometimes with every movie, so it's not too bad. So with this movie, just seeing the fact that I didn't even finish the movie, I don't know if my rewatchability would be that high. I probably maybe would watch it one more time. That's like a maybe. Like I would probably watch the ending just to see how it is. But to rewatch the entire thing one more time from beginning to end, it would have to be with my family or like somebody else. I couldn't watch it by myself. But it wouldn't be like, wow, what do I want to do today? I want to watch a movie. Let's watch Nope. Like that would never cross my mind. Unless my family was like, hey, I never seen this movie, do you want to see it? First I'll tell them no. Do not watch it. But then if they really want to see it, then I'll watch it. But yeah, this is not. I guess I didn't really like the movie that much. Because I guess it wasn't my cup of tea. But I mean, some people liked it. Some people understood what he was going for. Maybe I didn't understand it, but it's not one of my top 50. Which is really unfortunate because I heard Get Out and Us and stuff. Well, more praise for Get Out than Us, but I hope you know what I mean. All right, so that was my whole take on Nope. Hopefully, next time I would like to do Don't Worry, Darling. I'll watch the movie that falls under psychological horror. So there'll be my thoughts about that. All right, thanks for listening.